Sporting Kansas City. What is the perception on Sporting Kansas City? Sporting Kansas City, let me tell you the perception about you. The perception is you are not the soccer capital of America. How often do you see people when you're walking in the streets, going to the grocery store, people outside of Kansas City? How often you see people wearing a Sporting Kansas City jersey? When you go to the local lids, the hat store, how many? How often do you see a Sporting Kansas City hat? When you go to Lids Locker, the clothing store, how often do you see a Sporting Kansas City jersey? In my 32 years of life, I have never seen a Sporting Kansas City hat in any Lids store. In my 32 years of life, I have never seen a Kansas City jersey in the Lids locker room store. How can you be the soccer capital of America when you're not even the most popular team in America? Sporting Kansas City, how many stars do you have? You got 2 stars. But the perception is you have none. Because even though the amount of success that you have had with Pete Vermees over the years, you're not as popular as LAFC. You're not popular as Miami. You're not as popular as New York City. You're not as popular as Atlanta. You see, Kansas City, even your arch rival, St. Louis City, they were more popular than you this year. That's largely because they surprised everybody and they were winning. Nobody expected them to be this good. But still, Kansas City, the perception is you are not the soccer capital. And a lot of people believe that the whole soccer capital moniker is just self-proclaimed by any sports fans. I mean, soccer fans that love soccer, a large group of soccer fans who love soccer in a certain city, they call themselves the soccer capital. That's the perception now because everybody's calling themselves soccer capital. Even soccer fans in New Orleans, Louisiana, they call themselves the soccer capital, and they don't even have a major professional soccer team. So Kansas City, you are a light heavyweight, and that's something I'm going to talk about later this week. The difference between heavyweight and light heavyweight and lightweight. Those are the weights. And no, I'm not doing welterweight and middleweight. Either lightweight, light heavyweight, or heavyweight. And I'm going to talk about that later this week. Kansas City, you're a light heavyweight. And quite honestly, I had to do extra research to make sure I had the right data about you before I just start talking about you. Before I say the wrong thing. But this here, Kansas City, before I move on to talking about somebody else, you got 2 major rivals who's alive and well. Houston, which is your legacy rival, and St. Louis, which is your regional rival. Both of these teams have played better than you this season. Both of your rivals are ready to take MLS serious. Both of your rivals are hungry for championships. And yes, St. Louis is hungry for championships. Let me tell you something, Kansas City. Don't get comfortable because you eliminated St. Louis from the playoffs. Because St. Louis, they're going to come back in 2024 stronger than what they were in 2023. Because now they have a full year of experience. So now they know how to balance the MLS regular season with US Open Cup. They know how to balance it with Leagues Cup. Their participation in the CCC, that will be new. That'll be a new thing for them to balance. But they can handle the grind now. And I haven't heard any rumors about any St. Louis City player that wants to leave the team to go to Europe. I haven't heard any rumors of that. So as of today, on this Thanksgiving Day, every key player that was part of the inaugural 2023 St. Louis City team, the expectation is that they'll be back in MLS in 2024 with St. Louis City. And they're going to be hungrier. And they're going to be more aggressive. And they're going to be more skillful. And they're going to be more knowledgeable of how to succeed in MLS. So that means you got to step your game up. You just eliminated your rival in the playoffs. And now it's a lot of people are expecting your rival to eliminate you. That's the expectation. That's what a lot of people are expecting. Because the negative perception that Ben Olsen is a bad coach, that is dying. It is dying really fast. As long as he continues to win, it'll continue to die down fast. So that's something that you should keep in mind, Kansas City. Don't get comfortable in the 2020 decade. Don't get comfortable. There's always room for improvement. Never be satisfied with just a win. Always look for ways to do more, to do better. Because St. Louis and Houston, they're championship minded. We don't know if you're championship minded yet, Kansas City.